Jonathan Kuminga is not just a max salary player. Jonathan Kuminga is likely headed to be the next Jaylen Brown, the next finals MVP worthy talent that's about to hit the NBA. But before I dive into this video is being brought to you by Bridges and Stones Family and Relationship Care. If you or somebody you know is struggling with their mental health or relationship, go to bridgesandstones.com and schedule your free consultation today. One small brave act today can create a better tomorrow. Now back to this video. Jonathan Kuminga is somebody that I don't know if you've been following him or not, but I like to follow these guys as they enter into the draft. And then I do homework on them, who they were before the draft, usually high school leading to college or high school leading to the G League or wherever they play for that, intermediary year between the two. And I like to look at their game. I like to look at their style of play because I am a firm believer that by the time an athlete leaves high school, the player they are at that point as a high school senior is who they will be for the rest of their career. And whether they go to college, G League, or what have you, they're only amplifying and refining who they already are. Which means that if you're somebody who does not pass the ball, does not play defense, doesn't rebound, if you're somebody who primarily scores off the ball, whoever you are as a player, as a basketball player, that's who you're going to be. And you're only going to either get better at it or show that you're not good enough at it to be able to stick in the NBA. Jonathan Kuminga and Jaylen Brown have two very unique parallels in their physical makeups, their style of play, and the narrative that was spoken about them coming into the draft. Both of them are 6'7" with about a 6'11" to 7-foot wingspan, hyper athletic, explosive first step, a great knack for being able to maximize their physical giftings with NBA ready bodies in high school. And I'm talking about 210, 215-pound chiseled athletic frames in high school. And then stepping up in competition and showing that their athleticism, their physicality, their explosiveness translates and transfers to higher degrees of competition. Each of them were extremely apt at being able to get to the rim, score around the basket, being able to explode past defenders, showing that they are not the type of athletes whom you're ever going to be able to defend or maintain with just one defender. And the big question marks that each of them had coming to their draft was the same. It was their potentially or perceived lack of understanding of the game, and two, the lack of shooting. And a little bit they were talking about their ball handling and passing, but it was really the lack of shooting and basketball IQ. And something that in both cases really kind of threw me off is that how much emphasis people were putting on a lack of basketball IQ for 18-year-olds and a lack of shooting for an 18-year-old, 19-year-old who hasn't played in the NBA. Like, because the only individuals generally coming into the NBA with a extremely high basketball IQ are either the phenom, like a LeBron James, right, or Victor Wembanyama, or maybe a Luka Doncic, right, a high offensive basketball IQ, not defensive, not leadership and intangibles, but offensive. Either they're the phenom who comes in after 1 year or straight out of high school, or they're the college senior, the one who comes in at 22, 23 years old, has had plenty of time to refine their game, to be coached up, to have years of playing against potentially weaker competition and refining their skills, and they come in extremely polished. A guy that comes to mind for me is Marcus Sasser of the Detroit Pistons. After his senior year, he comes out of the University of Houston. He looks about as refined and fine tuned as you could want to see a senior. Jaime Jaquez Jr. for the Miami Heat. They're refined, their footwork, understanding of the game, their own skill set, how to apply who they are within a team setting to maximize their talent, to be able to help their teams win immediately. Those are college seniors. But freshmen, rookies, guys who are coming in at 19 years old, 18 years old, I can't point to one that comes in with a jump shot that's going to be over NBA league average and an extremely high basketball IQ with an extremely refined skill set in terms of passing, dribbling, and the ability to fit right into a system. And so it seemed like these talking heads were just nitpicking. We're finding something to critique a guy on, right? So then I start looking at their physical intangibles and I say, that's kind of the profile that you would want. But some of the things that I believed set them apart from the rest that I think is what led to them being drafted as high as they were, but also was overlooked, was two main things. One was their extremely high motor, meaning that they were somebody who played a style where they maximized every moment on the court, giving 100% energy, 100% effort to maximize their skills, their talents, their physicality, their athleticism from play to play on both sides of the court. Whether or not they were great defenders coming in, you knew that they weren't somebody you were going to have to motivate to give you 100% effort and energy. The second thing was their competitiveness. Each of them could be considered a dog. And when we say a dog in the NBA, we all should know by now, we mean that somebody who has that competitive fire that says, I'm not going to let go of the bone. This opportunity to win, this opportunity to get this basket, to get the ball back, I am going to fight for it as much as anybody else on the other side who wants to take it from me. And these are individuals who have a high motor, who are extremely competitive, and have great physical tools, great positional size, athleticism, quickness, length, and a knack for being able to maximize those tools to be able to score, especially around the rim, where it's the most efficient shot, dunking the ball, right? These individuals tend to always be good, but yet talking heads continue to underestimate them. Comparing Jaylen Brown to Jason Tatum, oh, well, he doesn't dribble like Tatum does, right? It doesn't look as smooth as it does with Tatum. And yet, Jaylen Brown only continued to advance year after year after year, refining his game, becoming more and more effective, more and more adept at knocking down shots, getting to his spots, maximizing his athleticism, imposing it on the league, becoming a two-way player. All he did was continue to climb. And yet, people keep criticizing and comparing him because he doesn't look how we may have wanted him to look. And Jonathan Kuminga, similarly, right? After his rookie year, Stephen A. Smith is making up stuff about how the Golden State Warriors are kind of down on him and his progress. And the Warriors and Steve Kerr coming out there and saying, like, yo, this dude is doing everything we're asking him to do. We just don't have the space for him yet. But he's doing it all. He's taking the steps. His work ethic is nothing short of what the greats do. They put their head down and grind. They put their head down and they sacrifice the going out and the partying and the traveling and the trips. They stay at home after the season ends to work on their game, taking only a short vacation to recover, and they're back on the ground. They have a laser focus on being everything that they believe that they are. That's what Kuminga has always been. That's what Jaylen Brown has always been. And it's led Jaylen Brown to 2 NBA Finals appearances, multiple Eastern Conference Finals appearances, and both times in the finals, being the best player on his team, even better than the one everybody loved and wanted to give more accolades to, and walking away eventually with the NBA championship, the Larry O'Brien trophy, and the NBA Finals MVP. I don't think anything is any different from Jonathan Kuminga. I think Jonathan Kuminga is going to come into this next season and just blow the doors off the hinges. I think he's going to be a 20 plus point scorer a game. He's going to be efficient. He's going to be effective. He's going to be dominant. He's going to be scary. And I think he's going to put the league on notice. Whether or not he makes an all-star appearance, I think it's just more so who else is there in front of him. If Kevin Durant is still there and doesn't get traded, right? If Kawhi Leonard turns in a huge performance with the exit of Paul George, right? These kind of elder statesmen, the LeBron James, Anthony Davis, right? You have all these other guys, Luka Doncic, who are going to fill up a lot of those spots, right? Kyrie Irving, Stephen Curry, who's on his team. All these guys are going to fill up spots. Devin Booker, if he has a good enough year next to Kevin Durant, it's going to be really hard to make an all-star game, but he's going to show that he's up next. Not to mention Anthony Edwards and John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zion Williamson and all this talent out there. I think he's going to show night in and night out, he's just as good. He's going to show that, hey, he's here. And it's the same thing that Jaylen Brown did year after year after year, even though people kept comparing him and saying, well, he's not him. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. And he continues to hear all those criticisms all the way to an NBA Finals MVP. And when you look at this arc of where Stephen Curry is going in his career, I think we all believe that his game is going to age well. At 36 years old, we can see him for the next couple of seasons continuing to come off of screens, right? Work his little handle at the top of the key, come off those handoffs and off ball screens, catch and shoot, and knock down shots with regularity. But you know who they are going to depend upon heavily is somebody who can alleviate that pressure and that attention by having his own gravity. And this is where Jonathan Kuminga is going to come in. I think he's going to average somewhere around 22 plus points a game, 21, 22 points a game, somewhere around 5 or 6 assists. I'm sorry, 5 or 6 rebounds, and probably about 2 or 3 assists, right? If you watch his games, you watch his summer workouts, you see the handle is as tight and as raw as you can want it. This thing looks, and when I say raw, not in terms of underdeveloped, raw as in it looks damn good. It looks like he's going to be eating people up. He's going to be tearing up the league because you have to understand with those types of physical abilities as a defender, you have 2 choices. You either hope the handle is not good enough so you can crowd him so he doesn't have the opportunity to get some momentum heading to the basket, or you have to lay off of him. And you have to get ready for him to get downhill so you can stay in front of him, but you're conceding a jump shot. Well, Jonathan Kuminga has developed the game where he is able to say, I can kill you with both. You get too close, I'm going to blow past you with this handle. And I can make the correct read and to play make for others. And if you lay off me, I'm going to be able to knock down this jump shot from the mid-range, from the three-point line. You go under the screen, I got it. You go over the screen, I got it. I can put you in jail. I got the mid-range. I've got the floater. I can dunk on you, finish with both hands. There's no weakness in the game. And when you're that athletic and that physically imposing, he has that kind of Amari Stoudemire man strength coming in from jump, which means that guys are going to be bouncing off of him, especially as he has this newfound handle that allows him to create angles, similar to how James Harden did when he took that leap. And all of a sudden, guys recognize how wide he is and how strong he is with that low center of gravity. And once he gets that hip past you, once he gets that shoulder past you, he's just bumping you off him, kind of like how Kawhi Leonard does. And now he's just right at the rim. And when you have shooters like Stephen Curry and Buddy Hield, right? When you have those guys around you, now you have so much spacing to work with. And I think he's going to have a great year. And I would not be shocked within the next couple of seasons we're not looking at a Jaylen Brown type NBA Finals appearance where Stephen Curry on a last hoorah is having another 25 to 30 point season on great efficiency from three. But he's allowing Jonathan Kuminga to emerge and to be that dominant force and to be the man. And all of a sudden, they break through and they get to the NBA Finals, and Draymond Green is anchoring the defense, and Trace Jackson Davis is doing his thing, doing the pick and rolls, coming off of Kuminga, and he's able to set great screens for him, allow him to get downhill, and we see this dominant force begin to pave its way going into an NBA Finals berth and becoming an NBA Finals MVP. Is he a max contract player? Look, I already did that video. I'm going to throw it in the description box. We already know that he is because we know where he's going, not just where he's at. We can see it. And if Jaylen Brown can prove it, Jonathan Kuminga can achieve it too. But as always, I want to know what you all think. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. And definitely drop the video in your group chats with your homies. Get at me in the comment section, and I'm going to get at y'all there. Peace.